Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How
What
are you?
what what daf tonight? What daf I have?
The last one.
Oh, okay, chaf ches.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, right, yeah, okay, good. Yeah.
Oh, Geraldo.
Yep. Okay.
You were not here yesterday?
Correct.
Oh.
Okay.
I just landed. I'm at my
Oh, where were
daughter's.
you?
I'm in Far Rockaway now.
Oh,
So
how
I
was
got
the
to get to
flight?
daf.
How
It
was
was
the
okay.
flight?
Yeah, we had to wait on the runway about 45 minutes. He
Wow.
landed and they just stuck out. They couldn't get a place to a
Wow.
terminal. I guess another plane was there. So he was just sitting on there for 45 minutes.
Oh,
Just waiting.
God.
Yeah, pain. Such a pain. I
Yeah.
hate wearing masks sucks,
Is it,
It's not,
is it cold?
it's not bad actually, about 40, 45 degrees. Not
Mm.
bad, I mean, in fact, getting off the plane, it was so stuffy, you get out in the air, it's been pretty good. It feels good, but you don't want to be up, but it's not bad. It's about 40, 45 degrees, not bad, not a bad. Yeah. All right, okay, be okay.
Yeah, here we have 90.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
90 today, amazing,
This
amazing,
afternoon
yeah.
it was around 90.
Oh my goodness, yeah. No, not fun to travel these days, yeah.
So how long are you staying?
A week probably.
Oh,
Maybe I'll
very good.
maybe I'll go to Israel from there. I don't know. I haven't decided. Maybe I'll hop over there for a few days. So
Oh,
gotta
that's good.
visit my brothers. They can't ask me back though. Yeah, I just gotta tell them the whole story. I haven't been seeing them since I haven't been to Israel for a couple of years. So, yeah. So we're starting Chagiga, I guess, on tomorrow night, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. I went to pay a shiva call last night to the family of that, the wife that was killed in an automobile accident. You heard about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the husband doing?
I mean, he didn't even come out. His brother was there and his father-in-law, his brother-in-law. That he didn't come out. He was eating it. And I waited for about an hour, and he didn't come out. I guess he was sitting during the day. But my grandson's friends with.
He really was hurt also in the accident.
Yeah, he was hurt also. Yeah. So the father was saying, I didn't hear exactly what he said, but what happened was the car went underneath the truck, and they had to get the they had to raise the truck up, and then they had to get the jaws of life to extract her from the car. And they took her to the hospital. I guess I don't know, she died instantly. It's possible because I don't know what happened. I don't know exactly the details. The truck pulled over or something, crossed the road, and then yeah. But she died. 5 children. The oldest is 11, and the baby is about 7 months, something like that. She got 5 children, 2 boys and 3 girls. So he's got terrible. Mother was 33.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on Chaf Ches 28.
Have something in your nose, Yomi.
I just had a little something removed, nothing
Oh.
major.
Would they remove your finger?
Women were not buried in their coffin wasn't put in the middle of the street because the Mishnah said they bleed and it's not a covet for them. That's talking about a woman who died in childbirth who's got a lot of bleeding. But other women can be placed in a public square. Rabbi Lazar Amar Filu Shar Noshim not. Tamas Sham Miriam, but he covers Sham. Miriam died there. When you're finished. So for women, they have to be buried immediately after death without being placed in the Rechov. Miriam died with a kiss of death. It says Vayama Sham Moshe al Pi Hashem, and here it says Vatama Sham Miriam. So when they malu nemar ba al Pi Hashem, they shignaya davar lo amroi. It's not sneers to say that Hashem did misa neshika with the lady. Amravami. Lama nismach misas Miriam the Parshas Paraduma. Why was Mrs. Miriam placed next to Paraduma?
You have a place for that.
Alan, please mute it. Ma Paraduma mechaperes of misasan shel tzadikim mechaperes. So the misa of tzadikim is also mechaper. The death of Aaron is next to the big day kuna. Ma big day kuna mechaper of misa shel tzadikim mechaperes. Ma pitom. What does it mean if someone just dies sudden death? Zui misas chatufa. It's called misas chatufa. It was grabbed. Chala yomecha lumei zui misa dechufa. Someone who got sick for one day and died, that's called misa dechufa. Rachel begamorman zui misas magefa. Shenemar ben adam hinni lokech b'mchas machmad einecha b'magefa. Uksi v'adar b'lam b'boik. V'tamas ishti b'er. It happens in one day. You're sick one day and you die. That's a magefa. Shnei yamim umei zui misas techui. It's a pushed off misa. Shloisha, if you get sick for 3 days and die, it's ga'ara. Hashem is being goyer by you. Arba is nazifa, right? He's turning his back on you. Chamisha zui misas kolodam. Regular death, the person is sick for 5 days and then dies. Amrav chanayin makra. Hain karvu yamecha lamus. Hain in Greek means one. Chat. Karvu plural tray. Yamecha plural tray. So you have 1 plus 2 plus 2 is 5. Hachamisha. Hein chad. Shekain beloshen yivoni koren lachas hein. The word one is hein in Greek. Meis b'chamishim shana. Person dies at 50. Zui misas kores. Chamishim ushtaim shana. Zui misas Shmuel Aramosi. Shmuel died when he was 52. Shishim zui misas bidei shamayim. If somebody warrants misas bidei shamayim, they die at 60. Amar Mazutra Maikra. The chsiv tavo bekelach eli kever. Bekelach bigematria shisnayu. Bekelach is bigematria 60. Shivim, someone dies at Shivim, seva. That's like a long life. Shmonim, gvuros, very long life. The chsiv yimesh no seina bohem Shivim shanavim bigvuros shmonim shana. Amar Rabba b'chamishim v'shishim shana zui misas kares. Whoever dies between the age of 50 and 60, that's kares. V'hai delei choshev luhu. The fact that we didn't say it, it's Mishum Kavoda Shel Shmuel Aramosi, because Shmuel Aramosi died at 52. So that's why they said they're just 50. Rav Yosef Kiava Bar Shisan Avadul Yom Tov Rabbanon. On Rav Yosef's 60th birthday party, made him party. Amar Nafki Limi Kores. You see, I escaped Kores. Amar Le Abai Nid Nafik Le Mar Mi Kores to Shani Mi Kores to Yomi Nafik Mar. Yeah, there's Kores of Shanim and Kores of Yomim. Fine, you escaped course of Shani, but maybe not course of Yomi. Okay, at least I got half of it. Ravuna nach nafshe pito. Ravuna died suddenly. Avukadagi rabbanon. So the Chachamim were concerned. Why did he die? That's only if you die pisom. You have to worry. That's if you're under 80. But avaligia legvuros umisas nashika. Dying suddenly after the age of 80. Is a kiss of death. Amarava, chaye bani mezoini, life, children, and parnasa, lo b'schusa tayamilsa, ela b'mazala tayamilsa. It's not because of a person's merit, it's because of a person's mazel. The Rab and Rav Chizda Tarvai Rabban and Tzadiki have. Rab and Rav Chizda were both great rabbi tzadikim. Mar matzli v'asimitru, mar matzli v'asimitru. They each could daven and bring rain. But Rav Chizda chayat tishin v'tartin shanim. Rav Chizda lived 92 years. Rabba only chaya arboim. Rabba only lived 40. Bei Rav Chizda shisin hiluli. Rav Chizda was enormously wealthy. Bei Rabba shisin tichli. There wasn't even barley in the house. Oh no, I'm sorry. He had like 60. Rav Chisda had 60 weddings. Rabbi had 60 unfortunate episodes. Be Rav Chisda smidi lekalbi v'lo mizboi. Rav Chisda had fine flour even for the dogs. He had so much wealth. Be Rabba nama desar linish v'lo mishtakach. Rabba couldn't serve even his people with barley. So you see, it's totally b'mazel, not b'tzidkis. Amar Rav Hani klas mili boy kamishmaya. I daven for 3 things in front of Hashem. Tarti yavuli, chad lo yavuli. 2 were granted to me, 1 was not. Chuchma seid Rav Huna v'oisred Rav Chisda v'yavuli. The wisdom of Rav Huna and the wealth of Rav Chisda, I got that, Rava. I'm sanusi the Rav Huna lo yavuli, but the modesty, the anivus of Rav Huna that I didn't get. Rav So'er machved the Rava Hava Yosef kamei the Rava. Rav So'er was the brother of Rava. He was sitting in front of Rava. Chazi David Komanamim. He was dying. Amarli Lemamar Deloy Letzaron. Rava said to his brother, "Tell the Malach HaMavis not to cause me pain." Amarli Mar Lav Shushbinahu. I'm not an important person. Amarli Kivan the Imser Mazali, but my mazel is I don't have mazel. Lo Ashkech Be. He won't listen to me. Amarli Lischazi Limar. Okay, show me the Malach HaMavis. This Chazili made me see it. Amarle, Havle Lamar Tzara? No, Amarle L'Chazili Mar means appear to me in a dream after you die. So after Rava died, Ischazile appeared to Rav Sa'oirim in a dream. Amarle Havle Lamar Tzara, did you have pain when you died? Amarle Kiriv did it kuslis. It's like going to a bloodletter and he pricks your vein to get the blood out. Rav Ava Yosef Kamed Rav Nachman. Rava was sitting in front of Rav Nachman. Chazi to come and Namne. Rav Nachman was dying. Amr Lei, Rav Nachman said to Rava, Lema Le Mar de Loy Litzarn. Tell the Malach HaMavis not to cause me pain. Amr Le Mar Lavadam Choshevu. I'm not an important person that have any sway with the Malach HaMavis. Amr Le Man Choshev, Man Sofin, Man Rekia. Who is important? Who is Nichbad? Who is the correct person? Nobody. Amalei, this Chazi Limar. So Rav and Rav Nachman made a pact that Rav Nachman would, after he dies, would appear to Rav in his dream. His Chazi Lei appeared to him. Amalei Havalei Lamar Tzara, was there pain when you died? Amalei, Kamishchel Benisa Mechab. It's like removing a hair from a bowl of milk. It's no pain at all. However, Amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zilbo Alma Kadabis. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to me, now that I'm in the Olam HaMetz, go back to the world. Would you do it again? Lo ba'ina. The Nefesh B'Yisrael says, no, I wouldn't do it because the fear of greeting the Malach HaMavis is too great. Rabbi Elazar Kachel Truma. Rabbi Elazar was eating Truma Ischazilei. And the Malach HaMavis appeared to him. Truma Kachil V'lav Kodesh Ikri. Eating Truma, it's Kodesh. And if you die, it's going to be a problem. So so they made a deal. He got another hour of life so that he wouldn't die and be metami the truma. Rav Sheshes is chazile b'shuka. Rav Sheshes saw the Malach HaMavis in the market as if the Malach HaMavis was going to take him and he was going to pay right there in the street. Armali b'shuka kabeima. What, I'm going to die like an animal in the street? Yisla Gabi Besa, come to my house. I'll surrender to you there. It's more coveted. Rav Ashi is chazi le b'shuk. Rav Ashi also saw the Malach HaMavis in the market. Amalei, itrichli plus in yomin. Give me 30 days. The ahadri le talmudoi, so that I can review all my learning. The Amrisu, it said, Ashrei misha balakam the Talmud biyado. Happy is the man who comes to Shemaim and he has his learning remembered. Beyond plus and asa. So the Malach HaMavis came on the 30th day. You have to be so on time. So the Malach HaMavis says, Kadach karagli de Bar Nosan. Yeah, Bar Nosan is going to be the next Gadol Hador. Ve'ein Malchus no gas b'chaver afilu mukom alenima. I've got to take you now so he can become the Rosh Hashiva. Rav Chisda lo hava yochelei. The Malach HaMaves could not take Rav Chisda to Shemayim because Rav Chisda wouldn't stop learning. The Lav Shasik Pumim Megirsi, his mouth was always moving with words of Torah. Salak Yosef Barzil Beirav. So the Malach HaMaves went and sat in a cedar tree by the yeshiva of Rav. He exploded the tree. Rav Chisda was startled. He stopped learning, and then he was able to take Rav Chisda. Rav Chiya's lo hava matzah lemikra v'lei. The Malach HaMavet couldn't get close to Rav Chiya. Yom echad hidam elei kanyo. He appeared to his door like an ani. Asatov ababa amalei afikli rifta. Give me a piece of bread. Afikli gave him a piece of bread. Amalei, I don't understand. V'lav kamarachim mar anya. Why don't you have Rachmanis? The Malach HaMavis was now saying, why do you have Rachmanis on me like you had on the Ani? On the Ani you had Rachmanis. On me you have no Rachmanis. Galilei appeared to him as the Malach HaMavis. Achvele showed him like a spark of fire. And he gave up to him. He gave up to the Malach HaMavis. We
I have
can't
a quick
hear you.
story.
We can't hear you.
Huh?
We
Can you
can't
hear me
hear
now?
Now we can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. The story, these two guys that were all their life, they were best friends, and all they talked about was baseball the whole life. So just towards the end of life, they made a pact with each other that if one of them goes first, he'll somehow come back to the other guy in a dream and let him know if there's baseball in heaven. Sure enough, one of them died. You heard that story?
No.
He died. A few weeks later, he comes back to his friend in heaven. He says, I got good news and bad news. The good news is that there's baseball in heaven. The bad news is that you're pitching tomorrow. Okay, so this reminds me how they can come back in the okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we're gonna finish the parak tonight, and then we have one more Masechta Chagiga, and it ends Seder Zmanim. So that's almost 2 years of learning. And Harold and Magda have graciously agreed to host the Siyum.
I'm not quite sure when, though.
We're not sure when, but he'll give us
Yeah.
the date.
Yes,
It's going to be maybe around Purim, maybe before Purim or Purim time, something like that. And we'll do the same thing. I have a list. Everybody gave me a list. We'll just add a few more Masechtas
Okay,
for people in Messiah, we'll do it from that.
very good. Yes.
Mishnah. We're on Chaf Ches Amud Beis. Hang on. Tomorrow we'll learn at 8 a.m.
Why?
Thursday?
Tomorrow's Thursday, Ernie.
Sorry. Tomorrow is 7.
It's a feast today.
7. I wonder why. 7:30.
Yeah.
And then Tzvi Shir will be at 8. And we'll learn Friday at 8 a.m. Mishnah. Noshim b'moed ma'anois. In Chol HaMoed, they can, that's the sound they would make. And they were allowed to do that Chol HaMoed. Avalom etapchois. The tapchois is like they would beat their chest. That they're not allowed to do. Rabbi Shmuel Amar smuchas lamitim etapchois. The women that are near the dead body, they can do that. And B'Rosh Chadashim b'Chanukah v'Pur ma'anis umetapchois. As opposed to Chol HaMoed, on Rosh Chodesh, Chanukah, and Purim, they can do the noise and they can beat their chest. But Bazeh Vazeh Lo Mekononos, they cannot recite kinos. Kinos is where one woman says something and they repeat. Nikbar Ameis Lo Ma'anos Lo Metapchois. Once the mace is buried, then you stop with the noise and you stop with the beating. Izeu inui, shekulan oinois ka'achas. Inui is they all answer, they all do the noise together. Kina, achas medaber, shekulan oinois achra. One woman speaks and they all answer. Shenemar v'lab medna b'noi sechem nehi, v'isha ru'usa kina, that's a pasuk in Yirmiyah. Now, this is the last Mishnah in Masechta Moed Katan. So the Mishnah doesn't want to end with bad news. So Aval Asid Lavo, Hu Oimer, Bila Meves Lanetzach Umoch Hashem Lokim Dima Me'al Kol Panim. That death will be swallowed eternally. Hashem will wipe the tears off all faces. It's a pasuk in Yeshaya. Maybe we'll have something to say about this by the Siyum. Because L'chora doesn't have anything to do with what the Mishnah was saying. It's a shmua toiva. So we'll see. We'll discuss this later. So my Amran. So what are they ma'ane alames? Amr vaila ozla vaila chavila. Woe is to the one who's leaving. Woe is to the mashkan that he's giving up his neshama. Amr Rav Nesheda Shachansiv Amin Hachi Vaila Azla Vaila Chavila. Amr Rav Nesheda Shachansiv Amr Good Garma Mikocha. These were wise women. A good garma mikocha v'nanti mailan tuchi. Taking out a bone from your cheek, and then the water goes back into the kli. And when a person eats, he has a dislocation of his bone in his mouth and can't eat anymore. Or he loses his teeth when he gets older. Doesn't need his teeth anymore because he only drinks water. It's it's vi that you get older. Cover the mountains. Because the mace is a ben gdoilim and like from great people. He was given a very fine tachrichim, white lachachrichim. This is talking about a person who lost all his money. For such a person, death is better than life. Amar Rava Nesheda Shechansiv Amrin Roid v'nafil amabra v'yizuf to Yosef. He runs and he falls on a bridge. He still has loans that he has to pay. These are the bad things of life. Amar Rava Nesheda Shechansiv Amrin Achna Tagri Azavni Midbiki. Our brothers who are soichrim, they check their customers if they're straight customers, but they don't really check them for their midos or for other things. Death is like death. Umarin chibula. You know what? Everybody dies, and having pain is like interest that you pay on a loan. Tanya Rav Meir Amir Tov Lechas Beis Sevel. It's better to go to Beis Sevel than a Beis Mishnah. And there in Koheles it says V'chai yitena libo. The living should take all of this to heart. Dvorim shel misa diyispid yispidun. Listen to this. People who are maspid others will be zoichet to have a hesped said over them. Yigberune. A person who participated in the physical burial of someone, he'll be zoicha to be buried. The yitin yitanune. If he was zoicha to carry a mace to kruvura, he'll be zoicha that his body will be carried. Didl Yidlune. That means people who raise their voice in crying, they'll cry over him. Vekidami Delo Yidl Yidlune. Who doesn't raise their voice, because in some respects it's a good thing for a mace to go where he's going. When the children of Rabbi Shmuel died, 4 Talmidei Chachamim came to be Menachem. Rav Tarfon, Rabbi Yossi Aglili, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Kiva. Amlam Rav Tarfon, De'usha Chacham Gadolhu. Rabbi Shmuel is a big chacham. Ubaki bagodos. You let him speak, and then he'll nod to us when he wants us to speak. But let him pour out his words, and that's the halach. You're supposed to let an avel speak, and then when he's finished and he gives reshus to the others to speak, then they will speak. And on Rabbi Kiva v'ani achron, I'll be last. Pasuk Rabbi Shmuel v'amar Rabu avinosav. First he said, I have a lot of sin. Tachfu avela. And my avelis has knocked me down. Yitriach Rabbosav Parishon Ushniya. The other Rabbonim wanted to already speak. So he gave permission to Rav Tav. After the death of Nadav Avihu, it said, V'achechem kol Beis Yisrael yivkus asreifa. God's Klal Yisrael has to cry over the sreifa. V'alo dvarim kal v'choimer, u'ma Nadav Avihu shelo aso l'mitzvah achas. Nadav Avihu only did one mitzvah. D'chsiv v'yikrevu bnei Aaron es adam elav. They were makriv dam. Kach banav shel Rabbi Shmuel achas kama v'kama, who did many mitzvahs that the Klal Yisrael should yivkus asreifa. So that's a nichum. Nana Rabbi Yisrael is gleiv the soft look is over cover also. This is the father. No, the son of Yeravam HaMelech died and got a husband. Avia ben Yeravam only did one good thing to receive Beya Nimtza Bo Davar Tov. And yet he was maspid by Klal Yisrael. Kach bonav shel Yishmael achas kama v'kama. My davar tov. What good thing did Avia, the son of Yeravam, do? He was one of the people who were guarding the roads up to Yerushalayim. Yeravam ben Nevat prevented the 10 tribes living in the north to go to Yerushalayim on Aliyah l'regel. And one time, Avia abandoned his post, and he himself was oil l'regel. In fact, he abolished the whole system of guards that had been set up there by his father to prevent Klal Yisrael from making Aliyah to Yerushalayim. Nan Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah v'amar, B'sholom Tamud, this was Tzidkiyahu HaMelech. U'v'misrafot avotecha amlochim ha'yishurim asher yovan ha'ken yisrafu lav. When a king died, they would burn things, burn their clothes, whatever. He brought Yirmiyahu out of the pit. Nana Rabbi Kiva. So Rabbi Kiva spoke last. In the day in the future, the hesped will be great in Yerushalayim. Kemisped Hadramon kebikas migdal. Like the hesped of Hadrimon and Bikas Migdal. What is it? Rav Yosef. Ilmale Targum, if it wasn't for Targum Yonason, we wouldn't know what this is. It meant by Idna who Yizge Misped Yerushalayim, there will be a hesped Yerushalayim Kemisped the Achav Bar Amri, Melech Achav, the Kotel Yosef Hadrimon Bar Tavrimon. Hadrimon assassinated Achav. And Kemisped the Yoshia Bar Amon, the Kotel Yosef Paro Chagira Bikas Megiddo, who was killed by Paro Necho, the lame, in Bikas Megiddo. Achav did not allow Klal Yisrael to run away. He protected Klal Yisrael in a certain battle against Aram. Mirz Hashem, we will learn this when we learn Malachim. That they're going to get a big hesped because they did many mitzvahs. It said that the Tzidkiyahu was guaranteed that he was going to die in peace. But we know that Tzidkiyahu was blinded by Nebuchadnezzar. What kind of peace is that? Yes, he was blinded. But in the end, Nebuchadnezzar died before him. So he knew that the Rasha who destroyed Yerushalayim died before him. Yoshia Melech was promised he's going to be gathered up to his forefathers in peace. Melech Yoshia was pricked by hundreds of arrows at his death. What kind of shalom is that? They made him into a sieve. It was a shalom in a sense because Beis Hamikdash could have been destroyed in his time, and it was not destroyed in his time. The people who come to comfort the Ovel should be quiet until the Ovel finishes his piece. First, Iyuv spoke, the Ovel, and then his friends, Eliphaz, spoke. An Ovel sits in the head. So Yenachem Achrinim, it means the Yenachem sits at the Rosh. It's like Yenachem Ksiv. It's written Yenachem, it's read differently. V'sar Mirzach Sruchim. Mirzach Nasa Sar L'Sruchim. The one who is bitter and is das, he becomes the Sar, he becomes like the officer, and therefore he sits at the head. That's how the Reforshim explain. A chosan sits at the head of the table. Where do you see a coin sits at the head? The Tanakh Yishmael, the Kidashto, Chol Davar Shebedusha, Liftoch Rishon, Levarch Rishon, Velito Mana Yafa Rishon. The Kidashto says in anything Davar Shebedusha, the coin goes first. Amrav Chanina Kashi Yitzis Neshamim Naguf, Kitsi Poiri B'Fia Veshet. This is like a knot that you find in a rope, which is very hard to undo the knot, or hard to pull the rope through something.
Through a hole.
Luz?
Through a hole.
Through a hole. It's like a rope that's used to tie up boats, which is even a bigger knot. When you leave a mace, go two piece. Now, if you leave your friend, why? Yaakov was promised you're going to, or I think it's Avram Avinu, you're going to come to your resting place bishalom. So you say lech bishalom to a mace, not lech lishalom. Haniftar ben achai lo yomer lo lech bishalom ela lech lishalom shari David. Shomer le Avshalom lech bishalom halach v'nitla. When the last time David saw Avshalom, he said lech bishalom. Avshalom got hung by his hair, was killed. Yitro shomer le Moshe lech lishalom halach v'yitzliach. Moshe haratzlacho. So lech lishalom is what you should say to your friend. If you go from shul to yeshiva, and from yeshiva to shul, you'll be zoich mekabel pnei shechina. Shneimar yelchu mechoyel el choyel, yeru el elokim b'tziyah. We'll leave the last pasuk for this siyah. Okay, very good.
By the way, when a person goes on a trip, you say, סע לשלום ותחזור לשלום.
Right? So we don't say lech lishalom or lech
No,
bish.
סע לשלום ותחזור לשלום.
Right? So that's like we learned. David said lech bishalom and it's bad.
Right.
So we're
Right.
using lishalom.
לשלום.
Right. I think we learned a lot of halachas learning Moed Katan,
אוף.
right? Full. Molev Godish.
Mhm.
Molev Godish. Okay, very good, everyone.